Our backstory isn't what you'd expect. I'm 24, juggling a job as a sales manager with a decent salary of around $60,000 a year. Emily's 22, working as a guest relations officer, a title that sounds fancy, but the truth is, she's an escort, an expensive one at that. Her job involves entertaining clients, drinking with them, maybe a little more than just talking. I've known about this from the start, but it never seemed real until it hit me where it hurts the most. I met Emily when I was at my lowest. I was nursing a broken heart, still haunted by a year I spent chasing a woman who never even looked my way. Then Emily came along. She wasn't looking for anything serious, just a fling, a distraction. But I was emotionally fragile, and before I knew it, I had fallen for her. She was different, a mystery I couldn't quite figure out. She let me in bit by bit, but it always felt like she was holding something back. That something, it turned out, was the whole damn truth about who she was and what she was willing to give. About 5 months into our relationship, when I was away visiting my parents, Emily invited her ex to stay over. I don't know why that hit me the way it did. Maybe it's because, deep down, I had a feeling this wasn't just a casual fling anymore. I wasn't ready to accept it, but I knew she was never fully mine. Her past, though, that's where the real weight lies. Emily grew up in chaos. Her stepfather sexually abused her for years, and by 18, she was left to fend for herself. I think, in a lot of ways, that's why she's so emotionally detached, so unwilling to truly let anyone in. Her ex, who was there for her after her world fell apart, was never the perfect man. He had his flaws, neglect, emotional distance, whatever you want to call it, but he became the person she turned to, the one who seemed to understand her pain. Yet I could never escape the feeling that he had a hold on her, that part of her heart was always his. Finding out about that night with him shattered me. The signs were all there, the distance, the late-night texts, the coldness when I came back. I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her messages. I shouldn't have, but I had to know. And when I found out, it didn't surprise me as much as it hurt. The way she acted, so calm, almost indifferent when I confronted her, made it clear that this wasn't a big deal to her. "I'm like this. What are you gonna do?" she said, as if it were just another part of who she was. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just walked away, crushed. But I caved. A few days later, she called, and I forgave her. Maybe it was love, or maybe I just couldn't let go of the idea that I still had a chance to make this work. Living with Emily is like living in a storm. I come home from work, and she's already in the middle of preparing for her night. There's no warmth, no shared moments. She's not focused on us, she's focused on her appearance, her job, and what's coming next. She always runs late, and somehow, it's my fault. The pressure of keeping everything running while she focuses on herself has worn me thin. I help her with everything, picking out her clothes, packing her bag, making sure she has food, and by the time she leaves I'm exhausted. When she comes home, often intoxicated, it's like I'm her support system again, helping her with everything, even when I can barely keep my eyes open. When she's angry, she doesn't hold back. I've been on the receiving end of her outbursts, sometimes just words, but sometimes more. I've learned to keep my distance, to avoid provoking her, to swallow my own frustration because I know it'll only make things worse. Her anger is a fire that burns fast and hot, and I'm left to pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, I'm sinking. Financially, emotionally, mentally, I can't keep up. She spends freely, no concern for the bills I can barely manage. She's making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and yet she still wants more, demanding things I can't give her. I don't know if she even sees me anymore. We've gone to clubs together, but I'm never really there with her. She's busy entertaining clients, old flames, or men who have more money than I can ever dream of. Most of the time, I'm just there, invisible in the background, waiting for her attention that never comes. Then there was Thailand. I thought it would be the escape we needed, a break from everything. I wanted to make it special, to do something for her, for us. The first day, she wanted to smoke weed. I don't do drugs, never have, but I went along with it because I wanted her to enjoy herself. But as I sat there, feeling sick, watching her indulge, I realized that the trip wasn't about us. It was about her. She got mad because I couldn't enjoy it with her, and we missed the dinner I'd booked, a gesture I'd hoped would mean something. Instead, I spent most of the trip sick in bed, feeling more alone than I ever had before. That trip, though, it summed everything up. No matter how much I try, how much I give, it's never enough. Sure, there are moments when she's thoughtful, when she buys me something nice or makes an effort. But those moments are like a drop in the ocean, and I'm drowning. Even our sex life, once a sanctuary, has become a battleground. I try to keep up, but sometimes I can't, and when that happens, I'm the one who gets punished. I'm stuck in a cycle, every day the same. I wake up, go to work, come home, cater to her needs. I'm always the one who sacrifices, who bends, but it never feels like it's worth it. When I try to take a break, when I try to find something for myself, she gets angry, guilts me into staying home. I have dreams, big dreams, but they feel more like fantasies. I'm trapped in a life I didn't choose, one that's draining me. In my frustration, I started texting other women. It started innocent enough, just chatting, but as time went on, I found myself flirting, letting things go further. I told myself I wouldn't cross the line, but that didn't last. The attention from other women, the validation I never get from Emily, became too hard to ignore. At the clubs, girls flirt with me, try to get close, and I let it happen. I know it's wrong, but it felt good. At least someone was noticing me, at least someone seemed to care. Last night, Emily went through my phone. She saw the texts, laughed at first, calling it ridiculous. But then her laughter turned to tears. She cried, and I don't know why, but seeing her like that only made me feel worse. I tried to explain myself, to admit that I'd messed up, but she accused me of guilt-tripping her. She said she didn't know what to do anymore. And here I am, still in love with her. I begged for her forgiveness, promised that I'd do whatever it took to fix this. But part of me wonders if I'm just fooling myself, if I'm just clinging to something that was never real. There's a voice in my head, a dark, quiet whisper that says, "She never loved you." I don't know where to go from here. My heart is torn, my mind is lost in a fog of confusion and hurt. I can't tell if I'm trying to salvage this relationship, or if I'm just afraid of being alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm on autopilot, pretending to feel what I should. But deep down, I'm numb. I don't know who I am anymore, or what I want from life. I can't even tell if I'm capable of love, not in a way that's real. All I know is that something's broken, and I don't know how to fix it.